A good book is always wonderful to sit down with, and a good murder mystery is always intriguing. So how about combining the two? Joining me today is Pulitzer Prize nominee and Oklahoma native Carolyn Hart to talk about her newest novel, Dare to Die. Thank you so much for joining me.
It is my pleasure.
All right, tell us what inspired you to write from the beginning of your life.
Actually, I was a little kid during World War II, and it didn't take very long to figure out that the bigger and blacker the headlines, the more important the story. So I grew up convinced I was going to be a newspaper reporter. I majored in journalism at the University of Oklahoma, and I wrote all of those years, and I thought I was going to be the next Maggie Higgins, you know. Had a trench coat and everything. And then I met a young law student and ended up marrying. And it was after we had a family that I decided I didn't want to go back to work on a newspaper, so I thought about writing fiction.
Wow.
So that was
how neat.
Long time ago.
How neat. Well, you've written numerous books for the Death on Demand series. How did you first come up with the idea?
It was at a point in my career when I really thought I was done as a writer. I had written a number of manuscripts, actually 7, in 7 years, had not sold any of them.
Wow.
And I thought, okay, I'm going to write one more book, and this time I'm going to write the kind of mystery I love to read. And since nobody's going to buy it, you know, nobody bought any of the other manuscripts, I just had great fun with the book, and I thought, I love mysteries. I'm going to have a heroine who owns a mystery bookstore.
Nice.
And that gives her a chance to talk about great mysteries of the past and present. And it was just a very serendipitous event because I didn't realize that New York's perception of the mystery was changing. And about the time I finished that first manuscript, Death on Demand, that was when New York became interested in American women mystery writers.
Really?
And I caught that very first wave. Death on Demand came out in 1987. Dare to Die is the 19th in the series, and it will be out this year.
Oh, so, good for you. So I guess then, as a young child and just growing up, did you always enjoy a good mystery?
Oh, I love mysteries. I read my first Nancy Drew and never looked back.
Wow.
And of course, my very favorite mystery writer of all time is Agatha Christie.
Oh, yeah. And you mentioned her, I noticed, in the book.
Oh, yes. She is and was and will always be the world's greatest mystery writer. So, and when I started thinking about writing, it just came very naturally. And actually, my very first book was a juvenile mystery that won a contest. And when I saw the announcement of the contest, my very thought was, I love Nancy Drew. I believe I'll try this. So that was my very first book.
Oh, how exciting. How exciting. Okay, so do readers need to start with a certain book, or can they pick up any book in the series and start reading?
Each book is absolutely individual. Some readers are very meticulous. They want to start at the first because the things change in a character's lives. But it really doesn't make any difference. They can start with Dare to Die and go back to Death on Demand. It doesn't matter.
Right. Oh, I love it. And Death on Demand, I think, you know, I've just read a couple of chapters so far in your Dare to Die book. Death on Demand, I believe, was Annie, one of the main characters' bookstore name?
Exactly.
Is that right?
Exactly.
I love it. I love it. And I loved how it said it compared with these other bookstores, you know, in these other cities and states.
Right.
And you gave the best names. They were so much fun.
Well,
you know,
thank you.
Very creative for sure. So anyway, it's called Dare to Die by Carolyn Hart. And where can people find these?
Well, I'm doing a signing at Full Circle tomorrow at noon. And it's available at Barnes & Noble and Borders and, you know, any regular bookstore.
Wonderful. So, and your website?
And my website. Yes, they can go to the website, they can click on the cover and order it online.
Tell us again your website.
It is www.carolynhart.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.